it's your boy Tommy coming at you with another Boom Beach Frontlines video, and today we're going to be having a look at the Fire Bomber, who I think is the most fun support troop to be playing in Boom Beach. He has a ridiculously long range of AOE fire burn damage that can be so hard and obnoxious to deal with whenever he is on the opposite team. So I want to give you some of my tips and tricks on how to play the Fire Bomber to utilize him to maximum efficiency. When it comes to his strengths, the number one strength that the Fire Bomber has is that he fights from a very long range, and he is so good at fighting whenever the enemy team is grouped up. As you can see in today's gameplay video, they grouped up early trying to see if they could take B away from us, but we're all able to just throw those fire bombs down, be completely obnoxious, and they really can't do much there at all. As far as his weaknesses, make sure you don't get too close to the enemy whenever you're playing like long range characters like the sniper, like the Zuka. Those things are important, but at least those characters can kind of defend themselves. When you're playing as the Fire Bomber, there's not really much you can do if somebody closes the distance, because you literally can't throw your fireball. And in a 1v1 situation, people can actually see, I mean, whether it's 1v1 or it's group, but if it's a 1v1 for sure, they can see where your fire bombs are going to land, and they'll just run past and dodge it super easily. So you don't want to run around the map trying to take 1v1s if you can avoid that. Instead, you want to play with your team and group up. So what does that mean? Especially for the Fire Bomber, you want to start on defense, right? And wait for the enemy team's massive push. And this is when he's strongest, because whenever the enemy team is going to push as a group, usually what people do in this game is they'll start out with their tank, whether it's the heavy, the flamer, and then after that they'll follow up with their Zuka, their snipers. And this is perfect because whenever you aim your fire bomb, I always aim it at the front troop when they're all pushing, because if you aim it at the heavy, it takes about a second or two to actually land on the map. And because of that, as the heavy continue to move forward, as the support troops continue to move in, the firebomb actually lands right on top of the support troops, and it's very scary. Most people, whenever they see the firebomb land, they're just gonna run away and end up pretty much abandoning their tanks and leaving them for dead. So he's so good at stalling pushes and keeping it really interesting for the opponents. And then late game, I say you don't want to actually use the firebomb late game, in my opinion. I think he's a very good support. I think he can stack up a lot of credits, which is beneficial for, you know, transitioning into offense once OT hits. But I feel like once you get to that certain stage of the game, you do want to suicide, maybe take a death if you can, and then switch over to somebody that has a little bit more offensive power. So what I like to do is switch over to the Zuka. But let's focus on the gameplay now. We've got a lot of the tips out of the way, just so you guys can sort of read my mind and see what's going on here. But look at this. As everyone groups up, I'm just getting so much value from throwing all of these fire bombs down on the enemy troops, and they're not able to progress. You know, there's nothing that they can really do. If you're a small troop, you have to run away, and that's pretty much it. But now look at this. Look at how she's just walking. She's just walking in a straight line right there. There's not really much I can do to defend against that. But as you see, here's a push. I throw it at their front tank. The front tank ends up getting their sniper killed because she's going to get caught in the radius of the blast. And that is just a perfect defensive hold right there. The heavy, not really going to be able to do much. He's walking into our defenses there as well. We got 3 people grouped up, so a perfect place for us to throw these fire bombs and get a lot of value out of it. And every single time I see somebody trying to close the distance, we fall back a little bit, Heavy's not going to be able to push the bridge there either. And once again, another very solid defensive hold. Now have a look at the credits that we have in the top right of the screen. We are nearing 2,000 just from sitting back, playing defense. And if they're not pushing on defense, we're working the middle of the map. Once again, the heavy here gonna get his sniper killed, and she's the one that deals all the damage. After that, I'm not really too worried about a heavy. We're gonna take him out easily with the rockets, with my sniper. And then once again, solid defensive hold. And now they have the flamer, or they have the scorcher. That's what it's called. They have the scorcher coming in here. Not really too worried about a scorcher. You know, actually the fire bomber, although he may not be super good at 1v1s, when it comes to vehicles like to sit still. If you look at all the fire burning damage that I'm stacking on this scorcher alone, I just put out 2,600 damage on that thing, and it just fell because, right, he's standing in one place, big vehicle, a lot of AOE, so it's perfect for our fire bombs to deal some serious damage. But with 30 seconds left in the clock, I'm sort of like analyzing the map. Like, all right, it's 20 seconds. I'm sitting on 2,500 credits, right? They're not really pushing they're not really pushing our base. They're not really playing the middle of the map. I could run in on offense, but I know the fire bomber is quite useless. So what I'm doing right here is trying to get any last final picks that I can before OT starts, and then I'm gonna plan a suicide, because I tell you, there's no point in playing the fire bomber on offense there is quite literally no point. I feel like when it comes to these games, you want to put the game in your hands. Obviously, if you have teammates doing all the right things, having the tanks, having a whole bunch of Zukas on the map, it could be interesting to play the Firebomber because it can be very annoying for people that are playing on top of their base and, you know, hiding behind walls, trying to make sure they don't get flanked. You can throw the Firebomb, force them off the wall so your teammates can deal out maximum damage. But I feel like taking the game into my own hands, so at this point we're just going to walk in with the Zuka. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the other vehicles unlocked, so I still have 2,000 credits just sitting there. But I did make sure to buy me a Flame Strike because the Flame Strike can be very good if somebody pushes us, but I noticed someone's pushing us, so I just go ahead and drop it on the enemy's base, and it was a rush for whoever would win the base. You know, they had our base down to a quarter health, but we had a lot of defenses up, so we were able to actually hold that off and then quickly turn that into an offensive thrashing with the vehicle that we had there and with the Zuka. So a very, very fun support troop in this game. Hope you guys enjoyed today's gameplay video. Let me know what you think of the Firebomber. But yeah, I think he's a fun troop to use, so use him if you have the opportunity. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope you're going to enjoy the rest of your day.
What is life? I cannot